right? So when it comes to trading and risk management, the first thing you need to always look out for is your capital. Be it your $1,000, your $10,000, and whatever you have you are trading with. What you want to be looking out for first is your capital. Your capital is your weapon. Your capital is your weapon. If even if you don't take anything from here, please take it. Your capital is your weapon. Does that mean you should not trade? No. Does that mean you should trade with fear? No. But when from that standpoint, you can now start at arranging every other thing. Arranging other things means by, okay, what am I willing to risk? Now, most people ask questions like, you see somebody with $100 and they're using like 0.03 into three places, and you'll be like, oh my god, this person is over leveraging. To you, it might look like over leveraging if you do that same thing on your account without knowing how much you are willing to risk. Somebody that has $100 can be willing to risk all those money at that point where he's trading because he has a good strategy and feels that that trade is going to go his way. But peradventure that trade doesn't go his way, he's ready to risk that $100. But you that knows that that $100 is your life, risking that $100 at that point, all of them, is going to be gambling and over leveraging. So the first thing you need to always know when you are trading is how much you are willing to risk. That is where you start from. So usually we advise you to risk 10% of your account if you are using like $100 or 500, so that you can maximize your profits and minimize your loss, right? But if you when your account start growing like $10,000, $50,000, even 1,000, you might want to now like reduce your risk. But at the end of the day, risk is relative. The kind of risk I'm willing to take might not be the kind of risk you are willing to take. You need to know the kind of trader you are. Are you an aggressive trader, or you are a trader um that likes it slow but steady? Me, I'm a mid risk taker. I can take risk with that regardless, but I like to take calculated risk. Once that risk is not calculated, I consider it a high risk trade or whatsoever. Risk is risk, whether in forex, whether in stock, whether in crypto, or because some people feel like, oh, I can't risk it. I can't risk it. I can't risk it. But you see them risking it in stock. As I speak to you, the stock market is going down every time. Right? But there are people that say if forex is too risky, stock it is. But risk is risk. You just need to know the risk you are willing to take. Right? Now, I'm just going to show you a very simple way of how to take partial and break even. It's very easy. Hopefully that the market goes our way. First of all, you have copied and pasted the trade. The trader has given you that you should take your trade, and you are going to take a trade, right? And you're going to buy. I'm going to buy now because this is not an analyzed trade, right? There's no trade currently that we are going to use. So we are going to just come up with something so that I can show you how to break even and take partial. There are different ways of breaking even and taking partial. The first thing you need to know is that the least lot size you can take in forex is 0.01. That's the least lot size in forex trading. Excuse me. You cannot take 0.005 or 0.002 in forex. As far as trading view and MetaTrader 5 is concerned, the least lot size is 0.01. So what does break even mean? Start from there. Break even is taking partial. Break even is you have a trade running in profit. Right now, what you can see is red. What break even means is that when these traders start going into blue, right? Even right now is odd. If you did mathematics in your secondary school or whatsoever, you know that we have odd numbers and even numbers. Even numbers are numbers that you can divide by two. Odd numbers are numbers that cannot be divisible by two. In this case, the breaking odd means you are breaking red. But in the other sense, breaking even, that means you are breaking your profit into two. That's like layman language, right? Now, when your trade starts going into profit, if you are using 0.01, you can't divide 0.01, which is the least, into two. Just like we cannot divide, unlike, let's come to the basic mathematics. You can't divide 1 into 2. You also know that you cannot divide this into 2, right? You can't divide 0.01 into 2. So in Forex, you can start dividing, you can start talking about dividing your trade into 2 from 0.02. So 0.02, you can divide it from into 2 places: 0.01, 0.01. If you have 0.03, you can divide it 0.02 and 0.01, or vice versa. And like that, like that. I am using 0.05 now. I can divide this 0.02 and 0.03. I can do 0.04 and 0.01, depending on what the kind of the profit you want to take at that point, right? The trade doesn't want to go into profit. Do you guys understand to this point? I don't want to talk to myself. I don't know, maybe I should do buy and sell. Anyone that goes into profit first. I just want to show us how to break even. It's very important. Anyone that goes into profit will start from there. Yeah. Um, so that's break even. Once we have a trade that goes into profit, you see that I cannot break even here. It doesn't even make sense breaking my loss. And there are a lot of things people make, mistakes people make. I'm going to try to talk about them as much as I can remember. One of the mistakes is cutting your loss. Breaking even and taking partial looks like the same thing, but they are not the same thing, because breaking even is breaking your profit into two. Right now, my trade has not started going into profit. If you start going into profit, I break even. Okay. Um. Sorry. Let me reframe that. Taking partials and breaking even looks like the same thing, but they are not actually the same thing. Where where people actually really break even is like after you have taken partial. After I divide this my 0.05 into 2 right now, right? I've taken partial, right? That's one. The next thing I'm going to do now is to lock in my profit, such that I've taken partial now. I want more profit, but in case the market decides to reverse back, I'm safe in that trade. That is the full break even. Now, there are different type of break even. Oh. There's break even, there's break even plus, and there's break even plus plus. But that's like an advanced one. But where people majorly do break even plus plus is when you have 0.01. When you have 0.01, you can't divide it into two. But you can now do what they call trailing stop loss. Trailing stop loss is break even plus plus, such that as this trade is going into profit now, some people, if you are very advanced in trading, you can be checking the charts to know the next resistance and support, to know where to put your next break even, right? But as for beginners, most times they will tell you to, you see, my entry point is 4527, right? 0.21. After taking partial, all I will come and do is, this trade is a buy trade. So my SL, let me put an SL. Let me put it at 4520, 4520. Let me put my take profit at 4537, right? Now, at this point, let's say I took I took partial from the first one. What people now do is, if I take partial and change my entry to my stop loss, that's break even. But if I have 0.01 and I try to do break even, because I can't divide it into two, and whatever I do there is break even plus plus, because I still want it to be moving, but at the same time securing my capital. So there are different ways of doing break even, but at this level, let's say you have 0.02 to you are taking 0.02. I've established the fact that if you have 0.01, you cannot take partials. You have to either take your profit and go home, or you just be trailing your stop loss, right? This trade doesn't want to go into profit, so that I can show you guys what I'm talking about in recent. Hopefully one of them goes into profit, then I can show you how to break even. And okay, so now if I am to go into the risk management proper, a trade is given. Oh, I don't want us to lose sight of this thing. It's actually not going as planned right now. See. But I want us to see. I don't know. Okay. A trade is given, and they told you to, let's just leave that one to be running while we use our time to do something. In that trade, they told you to buy XAU USD. Everybody likes XAU. Another thing, if you're a beginner in this call or you don't know, guys, it's not only gold that we trade in the Forex market. In fact, in the classification of um currency pairs, or in the classification of Forex, gold is not currency pair. Gold is a commodity. Commodities, we have gold, we have silver, we have diamond, right? Just that people are so used to trading gold because number one, is volatile and it can actually give you money very fast. But gold is not the only trade currency pair in the market. Yes, I don't also like gold. That's the truth. I like currency pairs. I like things that are slow and steady, right? Why people don't really like currency pairs? Number one, on the brokers, it's the spread, especially when you have to move from one session to another. That's one. And two, it's slow. Some currency pairs can be slow. Yes, if you like US 30, that's another good one. Another thing why people like gold is it works in any session, but some currency pairs and like US 30 now can majorly you enjoy it more during its session, like US session. But if you are trading US 30 in, let's say, Asia session or London session, you will not enjoy it that much. That's why you see people do gold more. But I just wanted to know that gold is not the only currency pair we have. So this one I started going into profit. Anyone that goes into profit though, we are going to use that one. Yeah. This has started going into profit, guys. So how do we take partials and break even? Number one, you are the one that will determine. You are the one that will determine how much you want to break even. Now I want to break 0.03. You put 0.03 and take partial. I just took partial. Grace, I just took partial. The next thing now, break even, is now to change my stop loss to my entry, which is 4524. It's very close. That's the problem. The next thing is actually to change my stop loss to 4524. It's too close, so it's not modifying. So let's wait. If not, it's going to take us out and start doing what we want to do. But what I just did now is taking partial. I just took partial. If I go to my history now, I'm going to see it there, $2, right? But the trade is still running. But I've taken partial. The next thing I would have loved to do is to safeguard my account now, which is to change my SL that was given to the new SL, which is 4524. I can do that now. 4524. You are going to see how it's going to take me out. You see, I just put it there. Now, if this trade goes back into SL, I'm going to be safe. I've made small money, which is not enough, but I'm safe now in this trade. Whatever happens in this trade, it can either take me out in my break even or give me more profit, right? So that's how to take partial and break even. I hope you guys understand. I hope I'm not talking to myself. Yeah, I hope I'm not talking to myself, and I hope you guys understand. If you are still with me on this call, please drop your favorite emoji. Can you guys see that it has taken me out? It has taken me out in break even. It just took me out in break even, right? So going back to risk management, how you are supposed to trade on a normal. When they say buy XAU USD from 45.20, let's say 27 to 45.24, they give you your SL. I'm just forming this. This is not, it's not analyzed or whatsoever, right? There is no trade running now for us to use. So this trade, from this analysis, from what I'm writing alone, I already know I'm talking of a buy trade. So I'll do 45.30 TP2, 45.32, like that, right? Okay. Yeah. What's the 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 lot size to use depend, one, on how much your account size is, that's the truth, but also how much you are willing to risk. Why I say the first one is relative, because somebody can have $100 and decide to risk all of them in one trade. I know people like that, right? Another person can have $100 and say, oh, once it's more than $5, I'm not happy of that loss. Whatever trade you take and your mind is up, you are doing the wrong thing, you are gambling, right? So you have to take a trade and say whatever comes out, knowing that I have a good platform, right? So if you are taking 0.01, this is from here you will know. Now, there are different ways to calculate what you are willing to risk. You already said you want to risk $20 in a trade. The first thing is, what is the SL from the entry price, which is 45.27, to the SL 45.20. What is it? 45.27 minus 45.20. The answer is what's I put, equal to 7. You see that is 7. Now, in gold, guys, once you see it like this, it's very easy in gold, right? But in currency pairs, sometimes you can't calculate it the way I just did, because you might be wrong, right? I will show you some app that you can use to do that, right? First thing is 7 bar. 7 in gold, just add 0 at the back. This is now 70 pips. Now, guys, 70 pips, if I use 0.01 like Kate, what I'm losing in that trade is $7. What if I use 0.02? What I risk in that trade is $14. So guys, me now, as I am, I don't do this anymore. I don't calculate like this anymore. But for you that you are new, you can start by practicing it, and it's very easy, especially for gold. And most times we trade gold. It is very easy to calculate this. So I am in this trade. If I'm using 0.02, because at some point I might want to take partial, but if my account doesn't agree, I can leave it at 0.01, right? I'm going to be risking $14, and I've said I want to risk $20 in this trade. So it's allowed. It's okay. It's within my what I want to risk. So I can go ahead now and take 0.02 trade. I'll just go to my account and take 0.02 trade. I will buy, right? I will come to the point where, guys, I am a very strict person when it comes to my trade. I'm a very, very strict person. I like to take the trade at the entry point. Even if I don't meet the entry point, I don't want to take a trade when it has started going. Once I'm taking a trade and it's 10 pips above, like into the profit, I don't like to take it. I rather set a limit order. Because for every time the trade is going into profit and I'm taking it, one thing is doing is, number one, I am already shorting my profits. And number two, I'm also elongating my SL. So if I'm supposed to lose $14 in this trade, because I took it 10 pips below, I'm now going to be risking $15. It looks small until I'm using 0.1 or 0. Or one lot size. So if you are thinking like this, it will help you to go far. Don't just jump. I know it's not easy to calculate these things. Guys, I don't calculate it. Yes, please ask your question. I don't calculate these things anymore. Once I see them, I see it, I already know. It's really straightforward. But as a beginner, even when I started to, I had to practice it like this to know it. Right? So it's okay to learn these things. And just like I say, anything at all you want to learn, you can learn it first on your demo account. That's why demo is there before going into your real account. Right? Whatever thing you do on your real account, if you make a mistake, you are either paying for it by making money or paying for it by losing your money. So think about the cost before doing anything on your real account, right? Guys, I want to risk $20 on this trade. I'm coming to the TP zone. I'm coming there because like it doesn't make sense that I'm risking $14 and TP2 of this trade itself is just 40 pips. That's like $8. That means I have to take trade twice to make what I am willing to risk. Right? I'm coming to that. Right? Because sometimes some of our trades, let me go to our Telegram group. Some of our trade do not give us like that liberty. I wouldn't lie, but you can work around it. Like let's use Tom now, the latest guy in town, right? This guy is even better because like if you look at his trade now, TP1 is 50 pips, SL is around 100 pips, right? At TP2, you're already making 1 to 1. But guys, you know what I will do in this trade? Doris will do TP3. That's what I will do. I won't do TP2. I won't do TP1. If you, I'm sorry, but I study statistics, right? So there's something they call maximizing your profit and minimizing your loss. By taking TP3, if you're a newbie and you're just starting, you can go ahead and take TP1, right? Because you are still learning, you are still trying to understand the process. You need to feel what it means to make money. When I talk to my mentees, I tell them, once you are a newbie, take out trades. Take as much trade as you can. Feel the profit and feel the loss. Feel the profit as it comes, and also feel it when you make money and make $5 and lose like $15. All those things are part of your learning process. You can't jump anyone. If you jump it today, you are going to meet it tomorrow, right? So guys, Doris will take TP3 because TP3 will give me $15, while TP1 will give me just $5, right? So forget that. So that's why I say I'm coming back to my TP. But first of all, don't forget we are protecting our capital. So we are even more concerned about our risk, what we are risking in that trade, than how much we are going to make. We will always come to what we are going to make, but we start from the point of what am I losing in this trade, right? Then after that, you will now want to know what you are like side by side, putting your risk and your what you are making, because nobody wants to do a business that they won't profit. If you sell something now and they are telling you that, oh, you sell something for $300 and one, you can't even get your profit, your money back, they are telling you that you are going to be getting 250. Excuse me, no businessman like it. So if you are coming to Forex with that kind of um business mentality, you want to maximize your profit. But for some of us in Forex, sometimes you might at the end of the day not get up to your profit, right? You might not get up to your profit, but you know that getting the money you got is better than what you'd have lost, right? But at all points, you want to maximize your profit. Let me see the question that you have. Is the first entry point 4527 because I was told you can go higher than the first number being put there. Yeah. So From what you are seeing here, it depends on the trade. If it's a buy trade like this, 4527 is the first entry, right? If you take a trade at 4526, is a better entry. If you take a trade at 4525, is a better entry than 4527. Now, if you take a trade at 4528, Grace, I hope you are listening to me. I hope she's still on this call. Let me check. Yeah. If you take a trade at 45, if you take a trade at 4528, you have taken the trade though, but that no problem. But you're already shorting your profit because your profit is at 45230. So you are supposed to, if you are using 0.01, you are supposed to make $3 here. From 4527 to 4530 is $3, right? But now you took it at 4528. Now you are going to be making $2. And that's not all. You have short your profit. You have also short your loss. You have also elongated your loss because 4528 to 4520 is now 80 pips, no longer, which is $8, no longer $7, which would have originally lost. So if we turn this now, if it's a sell trade, let's say this is a sell trade now. We are doing sell XAU USD 4527 to, or let me say 4524 to 4527, and your SL is at 4530. Now the same thing applies. If you take the trade at 4524, fine. If you take it at 4525, you have a better entry than 4524. But if you take it at 4523, you have shot yourself and you have also elongated your SL. So thinking more profit, less loss, right? So that's it. But sometimes, because of the way gold is fast, number one, you either take the trade when they say buy now. Like for me, since I started taking Storm, guys, since he started on Monday, I've been testing him. I've not taken him on my real account, but that is my personal preference, right? But you know why I like him? I set my trade on limit order. If I see it at the profit, fine. But if this trade should have, let me see where we are now. Okay, the two of them is in profit now, guys. Let's break even. I'm going to be breaking even. I'll swipe, take partials first, number one. Then the next thing is to change my SL to where I entered from 4524. Now I broke even, and I took partials and I broke even. Now I'm safe on that trade. Whatever I wants to do, I'm safe. Right? Let me put TP. Let me put TP at 4530. That's how to take partial and break even, guys. That's how to take partial and break even. And another mistake people make, I don't know, especially newbies, guys, if you see somebody taking 3 positions, you see 0.031, 0.032, 0.033, and don't think that because the person is risking $20, is risking $20 across the three. No, for every position is risking $20. Unless he said, okay, I want to risk $20, and it took 0.01 into 3 places. Fine. But for every position you open, the risk counts. If you are risking $20, $20, that's $60. So I hope you guys understand. I'm going to have time for questions. So if you have more questions, please just drop them. I like to answer questions because it helps to know the mind of people, right? I think I've done justice with breaking even and explaining risk management. I'm still on risk management. It's very important. I just explained to you as a beginner how to understand the risk you are. And guys, for you to really get this thing, whatever you learn now, practice it. Just practice it. And the good thing is you have a lot of trades. Practice, okay, say, okay, I'm already good at let's say for example, I'm good with Nova already, right? Every trade that comes with Zen, I will try it on my demo account with what I learn. It will help you to like grow. That's how you grow. Because the first thing is to make money, and the next thing is to learn. You keep learning as you, even me, I still learn till today, right? So you keep learning never ends. So this is how to calculate your risk when you are taking a trade. But there's a calculator. If you don't want to use, like, you might not understand it, you want to use an app. There's an app. There's a calculator called the FX app. It helps you to know how much that you are risking in a trade. How do you do that? You can either use profit and loss, or you use profit and loss, or you use position size. It's very easy. You can download it. For profit and loss, the first thing, you use your account, you put the account currency. Some people trade with euro. I have a mentee that trade with euro. Some people trade with pounds. Some people trade with USD. Some people trade with card, right? Some people also trade with naira. All you need to do is put your currency that you are trading with. The financial instrument here is already good. Then long is buy, while short is sell. So if I put long, so for your question, Grace, the question says that, okay, ma, but when you want to change your stop loss in break even, are you changing it to the stop entry given in the signal, or the stop entry you used in the trade? Yeah, so this is relative. Like, I'm coming back to this. For our trader Zen now, one thing about Zen is it is going to tell you SL to break even, to be risk free, and it's going to give you the SL, the break where he wants you to put your break even. So don't forget, his first SL was 74474, right? But when you have started taking partial, it now tells you that you should break even and change your 4474 to 4482, which is your new break even. That's where you are safe in that trade. If you look, it's 4482 is coinciding with his entry price. Now, why I say it's relative is because some other trader might tell you, sometimes Nova will tell you, if you follow Nova a lot, I hope I see one. Nova will tell you where you should put your new SL. I think I saw one today. Can you see? Now, Nova, after taking 25 pips, said risk free at 4480.5. Right? 4480.5 is between 4482 and 4476. So sometimes you can follow the professional. Sometimes you can use what you want to break even at. Like me personally, what I do in my own trade is, when the trade hits TP1, I take partial. Then if it hits TP2, I move it to my entry price. If it hits TP3, change my stop loss to my TP1. If it hits TP4, I keep trailing my stop loss, right? At that point, my stop loss is not fixed. My stop loss is as it hits TPs. I hope you understand, Grace. So your break even depends. One, it depends on the professional trader. You can follow them, right? Another thing is, it depends on the where you want to set your break even. Just like I told you in my case, right? I move my break even as it hits TPs. So it depends on you and the professional trader. Another little hack I'm going to give you guys on this call is that over time I've realized that There's something they call spread in Forex, and your trade can take you out and it will not take your professional trader out. That doesn't mean that they are faster than you or you are faster than them. There's something they call spread. So different brokers, different spread. Different account has their own level of spread. So what me I do sometimes, not every time, I allow 0.5 pips on my trade. 0.5. So if the SL now that this guy has said 4480.5, I'll put my own as 4480. So it's accommodating his own spread. I hope you guys understand. That's just like on the side on what I do. Basically, I like to teach people what I do. But just like I said from the beginning, what I do is not the only way, but is a way that can help, right? So coming back to using the calculator to calculate our risk management. Now, my trade is long. Guys, if you see, you can see standard lots here. Make sure your trade is a standard lot. If it's not a standard lot, make sure it's a standard lot, right? Now you are going to put the entry price 4527. Now this exit price depends. Exit price can mean your SL or exit price can mean your TP. If exit price is your SL, 45 is a this is a sell a buy trade, so I should have 4520. Now this is going to show you that in this trade, if you reach 0.02, you are going to be risking, you are going to lose $14. If I change out my SL now to 30, it's going to show me how much I will make. So at that point, before I take a trade, this can help you, especially if you are trading storm, because sometimes it gives you a trade that is not at its entry, right? Guys, another hack, don't ever chase trade. Even if this is the person you trade and everything doesn't align, don't chase them. It's better they go into profit and you are not in profit than you rush and go with them and that trade it sell. Sometimes you regret. These are the things that make people feel, oh, I take a trade, it sell, and but every other time people are eating profit. Don't compare your journey with others. That's another thing I will tell you. It's okay that you have not made money that week, but your profit, your capital is in place. Think in like your capital. Oh my God. I would say that's 101 times because I've seen a lot of people that give up in Forex because once their account blow, they can't come back. So you see me, you hear me talk about, oh, save your money, because your money is your weapon. If you are in a battlefield and your opponent takes your weapon, that opponent has you in their hand. So that's another way to check it is position size. Now, account currency. XAU US want to use $20. Or if you want to use percent, some people want to use percentage. You can use percentage and say 10% of my account or something like that. But most times I like to use the amount directly. So you give it your entry price and your SL, which is 4520. Now, down below, just down there is going to show you what you can risk. Ignore the mini lot, ignore the position size. Guys, just look at the standard lot. On this trade, $50 with $20 risk with the stop loss and everything, we are going to be using 0.14. So sometimes you can round it up to zero. Either some people might say 0.14, some people can say 0.15, some people can say 0. Basically 0.14 or 0.15, right? So that's how to calculate. And just beneath is showing you how much you are risking, guys. You are risking $100. 100. Oh, yeah, sorry. See, I put percentage. So you have to always be careful. I'm risking $20. So it's showing you what risk you are using. $500 account for risking $20. My risk is 4%. This is very important, guys. And a lot of people don't do this. That's why you see people trade today, they make money, you see them a lot of time, and at some point you won't see them again. because they've not learned to guide their money jealously. This is how you guide your money jealously, by calculating. I don't want to use the Bible, but something the Bible said, that is there anybody that wants to go into a business that don't first count the cost, right? You have to count your costs before going into it. Is there any question? Grace, I want to believe I've answered your question. Please, ma, can you teach us how to? Okay, I hope we have a trade that can allow us to. Okay, good. You are very lucky. Please, Stephanie, pay attention, and everyone. I want to take partial in this trade. The first thing you do, you take partial. Now, partial is relative. Some people might want to take just 0.01, depending on the trade you are taking, right? At this point, I have to take 0.03. I divided it into two. I had 0.05. I divided 0.05 into two. Some people might want to do 0.02 and 0.03, 0.01 and 0.04. It depends on you. The next thing, I'm going to lock in my profit, which is now the break even. 4527. If this trade goes back, I'm safe in this trade. Guys, can you see? If this trade goes back, which is going back now, I'm safe in that trade. Once it goes back, I'm safe. I've made money. I've made like $7. That's how to take partial and break even. You see? So that's all. Is there any other question? Because basically, I'm done.